Hi, I'm Zita, and I'm a chef and a teacher. Today I want to get you started on your culinary journey, but first of all we probably need to look at equipment you'll need. It's not a lot and it won't cost you that much, but a few basic pieces in your kitchen will make every recipe that much easier. Let's have a look at what we've got. First of all, you need really good knives. The only two knives you probably need to invest in is a paring knife, which is the small one, and a chef's knife. With these two knives in your kitchen, you can do almost every job. My chef's knife is in the shape of a European style knife, which means it has a bit of a curve towards the tip. But this one is the most hardworking tool in your kitchen. Next up, we've got some measuring cups and measuring spoons. Now, I would always suggest you work with stainless steel in your kitchen. It's the easiest to keep clean, it's hygienic, and as long as it's stainless steel, it won't rust. It's also, if you're lucky enough to have a dishwasher, it's easy to pop these in the dishwasher. On the cups, you will find the actual size or measurement written either on the handle or inside the cup. You will have a quarter cup, a third of a cup, a half of a cup, and a whole cup. Now in milliliters, this is something you might benefit from memorizing. A quarter cup is 60 milliliters and a whole cup is 250. So if a recipe calls for milliliters instead of a cup, you know how to convert it. A good pair of kitchen shears or scissors is very handy. I have found that this is the one item that I've always regretted buying cheaply because they do break, and I use mine to cut through, for example, chicken wings and bones or really hard ribbed cabbages and that kind of thing. And you want it to work well and be really strong. The other items I use a lot are my spatulas. I am not one for waste, so if ever I make a smoothie or I'm doing a cake batter, I get out every last bit with my spatulas. This little one is great for things like jars and little bowls, and this one obviously is better for your big cake batters in your larger bowls. Now, I know a lot of people who have a lot of wooden spoons. I have them too, but quite honestly, I haven't used them much in the past 10 years. I mainly use my large metal spoons. They are, again, easier to clean. You can just pop them in the dishwasher, and they are the right size to either dish up or do your stirring while you're cooking. This is a small whisk. Again, I have a bigger whisk at home, but I hardly ever use it. My small whisk is the most hard-wearing one, and it is easy to get into smaller bowls or pots, and if you're making an omelette just for two people or one person, it's a lot easier to use this than the big whisk. This is my spatula, and in the same theme, I have a bigger one, but I can't remember the last time I've used it. This is so much handier, whether you're making veggie patties or small little dumplings. The smaller the better. This one again is metal. Be careful when you have one with a plastic handle. If you put it down on a hot pan on the side, it might melt the handle, so be careful of that. I like the stainless steel one. Now these three items are not necessary, but they come in very handy. This is a grater. This I use for grating cheese, carrots, apples, that kind of thing. And then these are called microplane zesters. They're a relatively modern invention, but they are very useful. They're very good for things like lemon zest, lime zest, orange zest, even grating things like garlic or ginger, parmesan. They're very handy. They're quite sharp. They work tremendously well, and I've got these two sizes, and that's all you really need. This is a good example of a set of mixing bowls. Won't cost you the earth. Stainless steel, once again. They nest inside each other, which means from a storage point of view, they're really easy to get into your cupboards. A colander, this is quite a big one. You probably don't need quite as big a one as this, but again, stainless steel is quite handy because if you do pour things that you've just boiled, hot things like pasta, through a plastic one, you might run the risk of leaching some of the chemicals from the plastic into your food. So again, I prefer stainless steel. This is a fab one. You can drain your pastas, your rice, you can do your salads, anything you need to drain and strain, you can use this one for. Another important thing to have in the kitchen is a tea towel, or actually several of these. Make sure you find one that is really absorbent, as when you dry your dishes, obviously you don't want it to get soaking wet. It's also really useful to put things like hot pots on there, or use it maybe to get hot things out of the oven rather than having an extra pair of oven gloves. Finally, and quite importantly, a chopping board. I recently discovered these. They're really lovely. They're made from bamboo, which means they're quite light. They have these rubber edges, which means they're non-slip. The plastic chopping boards and some wooden ones are actually prone to slipping when you're busy chopping, especially when you're doing a bit of hard food, maybe like butternut squash. And if that chopping board then slides out underneath you, you are at risk of cutting yourself. Right, now that we know all about equipment, let's move on to some basic skills you'll need in the kitchen.